Man, I'm tired of working for other people, man. I'm about to make a switch to an entrepreneur. Who with it?
I'm most definitely with it. Listen, man, the powers that be don't want you to wake up and get out that everyday rat race. They want to make workers, not entrepreneurs, so you know I'm with it, man.
Alright, so let's get to it. Go ahead and make this extra money and switch it over.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
What's going on, y'all? It's Grind, Hustle, Live, and we're back for another episode 3 to be exact. We got a special guest.
Sadiq Morgano.
And there you have it, man. So we're happy to have you on the show. And, just tell us a little bit about yourself, a little background, and what you got going on.
Well, born in Newark, moved to Orange when I was 11. Regular Newark story. Did a little dumb stuff when I was a kid. Got locked up. Came home, started a business. Started doing contracting, started doing art, doing a little bit of everything.
Nice.
Okay, you said you come from Newark, so I'm a kid from Newark too. I was born there, but I was raised in East Orange, and you hear the narratives about Newark, about it being bad. You know the big myth that they tell about it. What's some of the good childhood memories you remember from being from Newark?
Doing bad stuff.
Hey, I mean, okay.
Running around. Playing catch a girl, get a girl.
Yeah.
Used to take the little the spark things from the
car,
the little white
spark
things.
plugs, spark plugs.
The window,
the
breaking the window.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Breaking people's cars, all the little stupid stuff. But
good old childhood.
Yeah,
being outside.
Yeah, that's a childhood memory. Okay, now I want to make a transition.
Hold on a second, D. Hold on one second. We gotta make sure that he really from where he say he from.
Okay.
What you used to do on Mystery Night? See, if you really from the area, you know what Mystery Night is now.
Throw eggs like
all right,
crazy.
there we go.
Frozen eggs. We throw rocks.
That's ain't for the hood.
Hold on.
Frozen eggs, yeah.
I was waiting for the frozen eggs. Now he verified.
Yeah.
He good now.
Yeah.
He good now. He know about the frozen eggs.
You sit the things on the side outside for like on the first October. They be ready for Mystery Night.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't do it no more. I ain't even see no eggs.
No.
God, they don't do it no more. I like my window.
The bus used to get destroyed. I know the bus driver used to be on fire.
People used to stand in front of the bus and throw it. But that's a different situation.
Listen, Grind, Hustle, Live family, we do not approve of this.
No. Don't do that.
Memory
Do not try this at home.
Out.
Do not try that at home.
All right.
Memory lane.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get back to it.
Back to it. All right. I want to make a transition. What made you start? Get into being a plumber?
When I came home from prison, I was going to go into. I was going to be a barber. I was going to the barber school. I went in this spot in Bloomfield. I was going to go over there. And I was walking from there, and I seen a guy that was one of my bunkies. So I was asking what he was doing. He was telling me he was about to go do some plumbing with his father and all that stuff. So he just told me to come with him. So I just went with him. I didn't even know how to use a wrench or nothing. I went with him that day. We started doing work. I worked with them for like 2 weeks. Then they slowed down. Then I went to school in Patterson and Hohokus. Because I just came home, they gave me a grant for $8,000 to go into school. Then I started doing that for a year. Then I left that and went to plumbing in Hackettstown. I worked with them.
Let me slow you down for 1 second. You said you got a grant. Now, how did you go about getting the grant?
Well, when I went there to fill out for the application, they was telling me it cost $18,000. I was about to get up and leave. Then it was like, nah, we could work with you, financing things and all that. They was going to try to get me a loan at first. Yeah. But then they said I could get the grant because when you just come home, it was something going on. You get a grant. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if they still doing that now, though. But.
And this is like, what, trade school you talking about?
Yeah, trade school.
Okay. And how long did the trade school last?
Trade school was only a year.
Yeah.
They kind of ripped me off, though, but it was all right.
So no, talk about that. Talk about that because a lot of people may go through the same thing.
Yeah, when you go to, if you're gonna be a plumber, don't go to a trade school. Go to a plumbing trade school. Because if you go to a trade school for plumbing, they may not mark because you need 5 years of plumbing working under a master plumber and 4 years of schooling to become a master plumber to get your license. So when you sign up for the school, they say they're going to give you a year worth of schooling and a year working under a master plumber, because the teacher is a master plumber. Mm-hmm. But when I graduated and I went to school, I went to my job, and then I was going to go to get my apprenticeship to get the application. They didn't accept my year in trade school. Yeah, they didn't want to accept it.
So, like, the benefits of being a master plumber is that you can be insured and bonded and do everything yourself. That's why you want to be a master plumber, or what's the?
That's the idea of it.
That's
but
the idea,
in hindsight, you just don't get fined when they come and ask for a permit.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And everybody out there ain't got no license. Right. But yeah, at the end of the day, you can start your own business, because the plumbing apprenticeship teaches you how to be in the business and do plumbing. So it teaches you how to run your plumbing business, and it teaches you how to be an actual plumber. Okay. So that's the benefits of it right there.
Okay. Now, so for the youth that's trying to get into this, or just anybody that wants to get into this, what's like the first step? Like, what's like the very first step? Is it just signing up for school? Or like, what's the very first step trying to jump into this lane?
Pretty much school.
Okay.
If not school, get under somebody. Get schooled. Okay.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you got to learn the ins and outs. Right. Because the hard part isn't doing the work. The hard part is managing the work. Okay. Because if you ain't managing it right, it could go under.
Right.
Okay. Now you said like that's one of the hard parts. What else are some of the challenges that you face like on your plumber journey, like the place?
Customers, people. The hardest thing too is pricing, because you can go to a job, price a job, because a lot of times you want to get the job. So there's no set price for contracting. Oh. Because most of the time people do 3 bids. They get bids from 3 different people, then they weigh out the bids to see who they want to go to. So a lot of times people go in there and underbid themselves just so they could get the job because they need the money. Then by the time they middle in the job, it's chaos.
Okay. So
go ahead.
Like
what we always preach with us is like the team. So how important is it to be able to build a team around you, or is it okay if you just sticking solely to plumbing? Cause I know you do construction and plumbing. If you're doing just plumbing itself, do you need a team, or do you prefer a team? Because with us, we always preach that the team is gonna get you further than actually going yourself. Yourself, you can go faster, but you can go further with people around you. So
you definitely need a team. That was one of my things too. I couldn't make a team. Like you see me now, I be by myself. Yeah. I had 3 guys with me, but they just couldn't pick it up, and they can't move as fast as I can move. You got to build a team to work like you, but without you. And that's like the hardest thing to do, because you got to find that person, then they got to want to do your work as much as you want to do your work. And it's hard to find somebody that everybody just want to get there, waste time.
Yeah. They don't want to basically put in the same.
Then you want to work. Yeah.
But they don't got the same passion that you got.
Right.
Like
you got to find somebody that's down and out and just like, I got to do this because they got to eat, the kids got to eat. Or somebody that had that old school moral in them. Like, I don't want to mess up his money.
Yeah, true.
But a lot of people don't think like that now. Everybody's for self.
So like the transition, because that's what we spoke about earlier when we were speaking to the first individual. He was saying that he's working on people that are just getting out of jail and being able to build and give them trades so they don't have to go to work for other people. They can be self-employed. Now with people like this, for all of us having a background of what we have, a lot of us was doing things that we were self-employed and we woke up when we wanted to, we did what we wanted to do. So how do you feel about, being a self-employed than being employed? Do you feel as that for you, what made you say like, you know what, I'd rather start my own business and be able to control my own destiny than work for somebody else?
Yeah, the background I had made me not be afraid like other people would be afraid.
Because you had to hustle.
I ran my own business for 12 years before I went to jail, pretty much.
Yeah, you had a good run.
Yeah. So most of it started at 13, so a lot of that was, it really ain't hit till 17. But I was there.
He's there.
Because that's what we always, so I know me and Derek, especially Derek, because when me and Derek was coming up or whatever, and he made a transition, I was like, me and him used to practice. I used to be like, hey, wear those shoes. Because he didn't have like stuff like wear those shoes, wear that, doing wear that. He's like, why, like even with me, I gave him advice because I didn't know, and nobody helped me. I just kept on failing. I didn't want him to go the same right because it's like my brother here. I'd be like, nah, you got to talk like this. Let's do a mock interview. You know what I'm saying? I used to do the little mock interviews with him. And then, Now he started to do it on his own, get it himself. And with me, I used to tell him this all the time. I said the hardest thing is going to be is like just dealing with certain things, like
dealing with individuals, like dealing with the different personalities, dealing with the different type of people. You know what I mean? That was one of my biggest challenges. You know, making a transition from the street to going to a 9-to-5 or any type of structured environment where you got to listen to somebody else and take orders from somebody else. That was like a struggle for me. It still is a little bit, but you know, that was one of the things that he worked on and with me with.
Yeah, with me, cause I always, I think I got lucky. Cause lucky and not lucky at the same time. I got kicked out of school when I was 15, so I started working. A lot of people from where we come from, they don't never have a job.
No.
So they don't see that other side where you have to turn that off and be an employee and excuse me, thank you, all that.
Yeah.
So I always had that two-sided. I always would play the streets and
one foot in, one foot out type thing.
Because life is like a fight. You gotta, if you know more than one style, you be good.
Versatile. Yeah.
So I got two styles. I could do the street and I could do the
work
side.
The corporate.
Exactly. A lot of people can't turn it off though.
Yeah.
Some people it's just them all the way around. You can't bring them nowhere.
Yeah, it was hard for me. It was hard for me too. And reach back to what Matt said, like when he stopped hustling, I was still hustling. And he was looking at me like I was crazy. And I was looking at him like he was crazy. Like, I don't know what you're doing. But he was like, you can't do that because it's not the way to do things. Like, you ain't gonna get nowhere with that, you know what I mean? So he showed me a different outlook, like, listen, do it the straight way, and then you ain't gotta worry about the negative stuff on the back end.
The biggest thing I always tell people is you need to travel, you need to see other things outside of where you are. Because the first time that I actually left the country and went somewhere else, it blew my mind. It gave me a different perspective of, I was used to the way that we do things here, and to see other things. A lot of times, some of the youth just need to see something else. That's why it's good to take them on museums. Yeah. It's good to take them to different things and show them different things, because if you've only known your 4-block radius or your town or your county, you don't know what else is out there. And sometimes you may see something that sparks your mind to want to be better and do other things. So that's good, man.
Yeah, because I look at, my motto is perspective is everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Your reality is based upon your perspective.
100%.
You can't tell a street dude that that's not life,
right?
Because that's all he knows.
That's his life.
You can't tell a soldier that's not life because that's all they know.
Right.
So your perspective is based upon your reality.
Right.
So whatever you perceive is what you're gonna believe.
100%.
So if you've never seen it, you can't even fathom it.
You don't even
so a lot of people, all they know is, if I'm go broke, go get the gun, or if I go broke, go get a pack. If I go broke, this, instead of just going to a job and just slowing it up.
Just fill out the application, go to the interview.
But you don't realize that until you're older.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the brain is like the last thing that grows on your body.
That's
and
true.
the last part of it is the between right and wrong. So that's why a lot of us don't really get it till we older. And in the hood, 25 is an old head.
Right.
So you pretty much done seen everything and did it already.
You're OG at 25.
You've been doing everything for 12 years by now when you're 25.
And the important thing is, like, a lot of people think that just because you're an entrepreneur, you don't have to have that switch where you have to switch. And it does, even if you're not an employee, right? This is a lot of things people don't understand. Even if you're not an employee and you're straight an entrepreneur, you still have to have that switch where you can be able to deal with people and be able to let people view you as a certain way and who you truly are. Because a lot of people that did the wrong thing, they are entrepreneurs at heart. They think on their feet. All those attributes that you have, but people view them as bad things, they're actually great things, but you have to put them in a proper context. But you still have to be able to put that suit on. You still have to be able to present yourself. Like he said, he had to go and accept bids. You got to go and you got to be a certain way when you go do that. You can't be, who you are normally. So even if you are an entrepreneur, you have to understand, you have to start to learn how to change and be able to convert yourself over a little bit, or you still won't be able to progress in being an entrepreneur, because people are going to look at you. When you go ask that bank loan, when you go try to get that grant, you might not know about getting a grant. You might have to go to a building to be able to ask for it. And when you ask for it, people can give you the runaround.
Yep.
They cannot work with you because it's all about your attitude and how you present yourself, especially going into a government building, because they first ones not to help you.
And it's sad. We're visual creatures, so
we're
going to look at you and then judge you.
Right.
That's the only way you could do, because you haven't spoken yet. So I have to judge you for the way you look. So if you walk in there looking crazy, they already thinking about, all right, I don't even want to get this dude alone. I don't even want to do this. I
So
don't even want to give him the job because you look crazy. Like you about to come in here.
Perspective.
Yeah,
perspective, because you know what you're capable of. You know you're going in with good intentions, but other people don't know that because we base ours off of, you know, mental conditioning. You know, you see a
Right.
movie all the time and a thug or a gangster look a certain way. So when people see you, when you portray yourself as such, people think, you know, even with me, and it's always a balance, right? You know, the person I'm with was like, man, you was dressing crazy. You was dressing with checkers every day, with a white shirt on, with khakis. And listen, you got to have a perspective because I kind of lost myself of who I was. So I had to have that balance of who I was, you know. So that's the only thing is you just have to have a perspective on both. Like, all right, when it's time to do this and time, just don't get lost. Always keep who you are in nature. Because if you start to get lost, then you become an employee. And you're trying to become an entrepreneur. Because if you get lost in the sauce and you forget why you're there, you get safe. And when you feel safe and comfortable, you don't progress in life. You stay exactly where you at. So what we trying to do is we're trying to get those, you know, that's actually coming out the system to be able to think like, hey, look, man, you don't have to stop grinding and hustling. You just have to do it in the proper way. And people that got stuck in the 9 to 5 in the grind, we trying to show them different ways of how you can be able to grind it out and then turn that grind into a hustle so you can live life like you want to. Because that's why you started in the first place, you know?
Some of the best businessmen we've seen in our culture have been people that come from the lifestyle of what we had to do. Jay-Z. You have all these different people that have run other type of organizations that was illegal.
Because it's
and
legally,
now
it's a business.
all they needed was to learn another game. They still the same hustler that they was when they was in the streets.
Yeah, they just
But
channel the energy somewhere else.
Because think about it, the corporate world is still the streets.
Yeah.
And that's what
It's
a lot
more
of people don't
cutthroat than
understand
anything.
because when me, Derek, and Shell's doing certain things, like, you know, we got asked to be able to somebody participate in our app and do different things. People gotta understand you can't lose that instinct, right? Because there's an instinct inside of you that tell you like, hey, something's going on, something's bad, something's happening here. You have to keep that hustling mindset and that instinct because corporate is way worse than the streets.
They'll sleepwalk you. They will sleepwalk you. They
Because
sit there and smile at you.
in the
and
corporate
invite
world,
you to dinner.
it's no retribution.
No.
You know,
They
you
can-
just got.
And
They
that's
making
that.
the money, and you sitting on the outside, look at them making all the money.
And you
There's
can't do
nothing
nothing
you can do
about it.
They
Nothing you
compare the
can do about
CEO
it.
to a serial killer.
Yeah.
They say they got the same traits and the same attitude, pretty much.
Yeah.
So-
They're in the whole corporation just like that.
Yeah.
So, like, what we have to do is be able to learn the things that we were able to be able to, that made us great at doing one thing and one facet of life we have to be able to do. Because listen, I'll tell you right now, let's say even if you were a gang member, you were a high-ranking gang member, right? Guess what? You got organizational skills.
Right.
Exactly.
If people follow you and people see you have a vision, people willing to pursue and follow that vision with you, guess what? That's half of the struggle to be able to have people see the same vision that you have, right? That means you already have something right there. Let's say, hey, look, if you were good at selling drugs or flipping packs in the street, 9 times out of 10, you were good at what? Marketing. You was able to get people, because there's 1,000 dealers, but if you're making the most money out of all them dealers, you could take that and
better
take that
marketing.
T-shirt out there. You got a dope T-shirt out there. Your man come to you. It might not even be your idea. Your man come to you and say, I got these dope T-shirts, and you know how to market it. It's the same exact thing. You got to learn how to be able to expand your mind so you can be able to do other things with those talents that you have inside.
Transition.
Transition.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you been on your journey. You talked about your ups and downs that you had from being a younger man to an adult now. What I want to ask you is, if you had a chance to go back in time to ask your younger self, like 18, like what advice would you tell yourself?
Listen. Listen to the old heads.
Yeah, and
That's pretty much it. Because now I'm the person telling the 18-year-old kid, you don't need to do this. No, he looking at me like I'm stupid. Because you don't get it until you in it. And then it's over already.
Now, like,
Powerful.
when you created your business, like, what did you, like, for everybody that's trying to be a plumber or do something, carpentry or stuff like that, like, what, did you go for LLC? Did you do a sole proprietorship? How did you start your business?
I did a sole proprietorship because I didn't have the funds to do the company with the employees. Because we do the employees, you gotta have the workers' comp and then all that stuff. They want 30% of that up front for the year, and it's just too much overhead. So I was the only guy anyway doing it, so I just did the sole proprietorship.
And remember we talked about that earlier when we
another
asked the guy
episode.
that actually, you know, he sets up LLC stuff like that. He said he can't come to mind of when you actually use a sole proprietorship, and everybody that's out there that's trying to be like a electrician or a plumber or any type of carpentry, then you understand now. That's just one sole reason why you can use it.
Because when you do it, the sole proprietorship, I don't have to have employees. The people that are with me are contractors. So they're my
contractors, right?
Yeah, so they're my subcontractors. So they have their own insurance. They have everything. All I have to do is worry about myself.
All right. So after that, like, so after you got that down pat, what was the next step that you did in the process?
Tools. With construction, if you ain't got the tools, you just in the way. Yeah. So you had to get the tools, and then you slowly get the clientele up. I slowly was working after work, so that's how I got my clientele up. It's just like hustle. Just word of mouth. I never got a customer off of Instagram. It was always, oh, he did this, so you can come do it for me. Or
you passed out business cards and stuff. Okay.
Right.
Now, did you just like you was on one site, you did what you're supposed to do, and then somebody referred you, and that's how it grew, or were you out there actively like seeing work sites and like, you know what, I'm gonna pass on my car?
I started like I told you, I didn't know how to do nothing other than the plumbing. Like the tile and all that was all YouTube videos. Then I just, like, friends that was buying houses, I'll just tell them, give me a case of beer and I'll tile your bathroom. And then I'll tile the bathroom. It look crazy, but you
gotta get right. Exactly.
So you good. I just kept doing that, and then I had a house with my kid's mother. So I was just my time to just in there messing up everything and then fixing it and then learning it. Then you mess up enough, you get it right after a while.
What else I was gonna say as well? Oh yeah, and the thing about being like insured and bonded, like, to have a record affect being insured and bonded, or that doesn't have any play in the process of you getting insured and bonded?
The record is only when you're trying to get your LLC. Once you got it, everything else is good. You just gotta fill out. If you got a record, you just gotta. There's a whole bunch of loopholes and walls you gotta jump to get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you got a felony though.
Felony.
Okay, not a conviction. A felony.
Yeah, because I had a violent crime.
Okay.
All right. Well, you know, we definitely appreciate the information that you've given us. But before we go, if there's anything that you can give to the youth or anybody that's watching us now that's maybe interested into getting into your field, what's some advice that you can give them?
You just gotta have patience.
Patience. And there you have it.
And hold on, one more thing. We gotta ask them, where do you go to be able to get insured and bonded?
Facts.
It's a bunch of companies you could go to. It's just licensed companies, insurance companies.
You find it online or?
I went through another contractor. I just jumped on. I didn't jump on his. I used the same company, Agile.
Okay. So you can be able to just Google, and then being insured and bonded basically means you go to an insurance company, you fill out the paperwork, and then after they submit everything, you insured and bonded, you ready to ride.
Exactly. You just hand them the money every month.
Now, do you find it to be in your line of work? Do you find it to be better to be insured and bonded, or do you think that it don't really play? It's some better. Projects that do, and in some projects don't, or is it better?
Well, construction is always
better
because you're in people's houses. Yeah. So if something happens,
you want to be responsible.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to get sued for $1 million. You want the company, then you can break it down because unless you just got money to throw away.
Go away. Exactly.
It's easy to flood somebody's house.
And one more thing, because this guy every time, I'm telling you, he gonna try to get away. He gonna try to get away. And this time I'm on him. Yeah. I'm on him this time because he ain't say it right the last time. It's grind time with D Money, and I need you to say that statement the right way. So go ahead. Listen, we gonna look. Excuse us. We trying to get ourselves right. So even if you gotta go to that phone and get that, he told me a fire statement. His grind time wasn't sounding right. So I need you to look on your phone. Excuse us. We trying to get right. You know.
Let's go.
We 100% organic. We ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Let's go. All right, let's go. Let me get to it.
Cause last time, even I'm not gonna lie, even our cameraman was like, "Yo, what is that?" You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna let that happen this time. All right, you ready? You ready? All right.
All right. We got a segment on the show. It's called Grind Time with D. And the segment is about what. Let me see. Wait. All right, my bad. It's Grind Time with D. The segment is on this show is like what's the least amount. Hold up, calm down.
We gonna edit that.
And we ain't edit. No, we're not. We organic.
That's how Wallow was.
You want just time too.
I got you.
That's how Wallow and them was when they started.
Let's
man.
go. Let's go.
They was
Come
in the
on.
streets for commercials and
All right,
messing up.
D-Money,
And
come on, let's get it,
Oh, we
D-Money.
calm down. We calm down.
Grind time with D.
See, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it all.
All right, relax.
I got
Relax. All right, it's like the segment on the show is Grind Time with Day, and what I want to know is like, what was the most you did with the least that you had, and that flipped your grind into a hustle?
Well, when I first started, I worked out of my baby mother's Camry, and I was doing construction out of a Camry. So I was putting sheetrock on top of the Camry, filling everything. It was the only car we had, so I still had to clean out all the dust to go pick up the kids and everything after the work. So me just using that small vehicle, I had that for 2 years before I even got a truck. So just using that for transportation and not spending my money to get a truck. I guess that was the best thing I did.
The least with the most.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, there you have it. There you have it, man. So we want to appreciate our guests, man.
Appreciate you,
Thank
brother.
you so much for coming
Appreciate
and sharing
you for
your
having
time and sharing your mind with us. And, I'm going to make this a statement. I'm going to say this each time. I'm going to force this to be a statement. If the door closed, you kick it open. If a roadblock comes, you keep it strolling. And that's what we're going to do, man. At the end of the day, man, first you find your grind.
Then you turn into a hustle.
So you live life how you want to.
We thank y'all for another great episode, episode 3. We're going to see y'all next time, man. We signing out.
All right, so we want to ask you for all your socials, all that kind of stuff, because we want to get the people. And this guy right here, when I tell you, this guy's an artist. He a beast. He do what he's supposed to. He's reliable. If you need any projects, reach out to me. Do everything. Everything. From the rooter to the tutor. He get everything done from the floor up. So holla at him. He a good brother. And we're going to let him give all his information.
Well, my personal and contract and Instagram is I am him. And then my art gallery page is Neo Niggas. Negus. All
right, so we're going to go ahead and close it out. But like I said before, we got to keep on going. And like everybody's going to have their own issues in life. And you're going to hit a roadblock. And sometimes you got to do the best with what you have. So a lot of times we wait till it's the perfect time. But it's never a perfect time in life.
Never.
Because if you wait till it's the perfect time, guess what? You'll be running out of it.
Right.
So keep going. And another thing is people try to play it safe. But let me tell you one thing about life. Life is not safe. And if you think it's safe, tell me one person that made it out alive. So keep going. Never stop. GHL.